Hello witches, I am High Priestess Autumn Phoenix. Thank you for joining me on this live broadcast either on Instagram, Facebook, X, or YouTube on creating your own travel altar. A traveling altar can have two purposes. One purpose is if you are living somewhere and you can't have a big altar. The second purpose of a traveling altar is if you are a witch that is always traveling and of course can't have a big altar. So go ahead right now and share this live broadcast to a witch or two or three that is interested in having their own travel altar. Bring them right now into the broadcast so they can get this information on how to make their own traveling altar, because even I have a traveling altar. It's just more convenient to have a smaller altar so that everything is together and you know where everything is. You don't have to go searching around the house to find all of your supplies. And of course, if you are a witch that is always on the go, a traveling altar is an incredible alternation from a big one, because you will always have it with you when you go from place to place. So this broadcast is going to help a lot of witches who either cannot have a big altar or a witch that is always on the move. I personally believe that every witch should have a traveling altar. May they have a big one at home, or they can take a large altar with them. It's the convenience of having a traveling altar that makes them so desirable, because you have everything with you. You're not missing anything, and you know where everything is. If you want to have a smaller book of shadows to put in your traveling altar, you can use one of those small mini notepads that will fit in the altar. An altar can be the size of a little treasure box with a key, or a small suitcase or briefcase. Not suitcase, briefcase. That's how small a traveling altar can be. Every witch, I truly believe, should have a traveling altar. It's so convenient to be able to just go and do witchcraft on the fly without having to run around like a chicken with his head cut off looking for everything. Most of everything that you need to do a spell is inside of that traveling altar that I'm about to show you how to put together. Especially if you are a new witch, especially if you are a witch that is still in the broom closet, a traveling altar may be for you. And it's so easy to make. It doesn't cost that much to actually buy the altar. It's convenient for a witch that is new, or a witch that still happens, unfortunately I would say so, it's still in the broom closet, or you just don't have the space for a big altar. Matter of fact, let me say this just to clear the air. The size of your altar does not matter as long as it works for your magical workings. The size of your altar does not matter as long as it suits your magical working, as long as it works for you, as long as it gives you the results of your spell, ritual, hex, or curse. That's fine. So yes, bring on people onto this broadcast to get this information on how to create their travel altar, why they need a travel altar, why it's so convenient to have one, and especially if the witch you are inviting onto this broadcast is a new witch, or a witch that is still in the broom closet, or a witch who cannot have a big altar. Some witches live in an environment where they may not be able to use candles. LED candles are a great replacement. They even have They even have LED candles in which the flame flickers. I learned about that from a friend of mine. I learned about the LED candles that has the flame that moves from a fellow witch, also known as the owner of the Money Doggo, Lilith, that I post every Monday. She actually told me about the LED candles that has the flame that flickers. You may not be able to burn incense. Okay, so you can't burn incense. Fine. You can take the incense and put it in a candle and light it. If you are allowed to light candles, that's fine. So this broadcast is going to help a lot of witches. It's going to finally make witches feel, I believe, much more comfortable doing witchcraft, because they don't have to stand or kneel in front of a big altar and wonder if they are really a witch, because their altar does not look like everybody else's on social media. No, your altar has to work for you. What works for me may not work for you. You always have to do it your way. You must do it your way. It cannot be any other way but how you choose to do it in a way that works best for you. So this broadcast is for creating your own traveling altar. What I personally put in my own traveling altar when I am a witch that is on the go, or if I'm staying in a hotel and obviously I'm not at my big altar, so I can pull that out. You can pull out your own traveling altar and do witchcraft right there on the fly. It's so easy. Every witch should have a traveling altar. It's going to be so helpful. It's going to be easy, especially if you are a witch that has children. And we know that children tend to bother stuff on our altars, and we don't want that. So a smaller altar, a traveling altar, will be convenient, because if you buy a box that has a key that you can lock, your children cannot open that traveling altar because the key for it is in your possession. So I suggest you buy a little box with the key so that your children can't open it and doesn't ruin it. So now that I've done enough talking, let me switch the camera over and show you what I put and what I strongly suggest you put, what you can put in your own traveling altar. Hello witches, now let's put together this traveling altar. You need a small case like this with a key. I brought this from Target a couple of years ago and it is still sturdy. I strongly suggest you get a box like this or a briefcase like this with a key to prevent people from opening it. So I'm going to open it. The first thing that every witch needs is a small lighter. That's a given. To light your candles if you are going to be using candles that need a flame. And like I said, it's okay to use LED candles, and they also have candles that have the flame that flickers too. I'll put this in here. Now this is for the witches who do use real candles. I have tea light candles and taper candles. I suggest white candles if you can't find the color that you need. We know that in witchcraft, white candles can take the place of any color that you do not have. I love gold and silver candles, but I can't always find them unless you either go to a witch shop or shop online. The size of these candles is convenient and it fits. I also make sure to have money in my traveling altar too. In case Hecate, the queen of witches, requests I buy something as an offering while I'm working with her. So don't do witchcraft with a god or goddess with no cash on you. They may want you to get something, and let me just say this, it will always be within your price range. It will not be something that you cannot afford. So be sure to have some money on you in case your chosen god or goddess wants you to buy something. And it will, let me repeat this, it will be within your price range. You will be able to afford it. Your chosen god or goddess will never tell you to buy something for them as an offering that would break the bank. You would be able to afford it. So be sure to have cash on hand. I make sure also, this may seem unnecessary, but I also make sure that I have band-aids of different sizes. In case I am injured, it's better to be safe than sorry, and to prevent infection until I can treat it, especially if I am on the road. So do have some type of protection with you. Do bring band-aids, alcohol pads, something to protect yourself, because if you get injured and you don't have a band-aid is so convenient to prevent infection until you can treat it at home or treat it at a hospital. So be sure, because it is better to be safe than sorry. Be sure to have band-aids on hand, a little, maybe a separate health kit, a separate kit with all the medical aid that you need in case you were to injure yourself. So this goes in. Next are my crystals. I make sure to bring clear quartz crystal. This crystal can take the place of any crystal you don't have. Clear quartz is used for increasing the power of a spell, healing, increased intuition. Witches utilize this crystal to aid in spiritual growth, manifesting goals by either wearing it, meditating with it, or placing it in their living spaces. So, and now I put it in. My next crystal is rose quartz. This crystal is known as the love stone, and it's used as a conduit for healing and transformation of all matters of the heart. Rose quartz can help usher in people into your life that really has love for you, have fulfilling and long-lasting friendships and relationships. So this is rose quartz crystal. I'm going to now put it into my traveling altar. My next crystal is amethyst. Can y'all see that? Let me put that in focus. Okay, it's in focus. My next crystal is amethyst raw. This crystal helps with insomnia. It helps to dispel nightmares and can also stop and expel any sleep paralysis demons and send it back to the land below. Amethyst helps to increase your intuition and bring justice to those who have escaped the long arm of the law. So if you have been denied justice, amethyst will bring justice to you. Amethyst comes in different shapes and sizes. Be aware that amethyst cannot be in direct sunlight. It has to be in the shade. If you put amethyst in direct sunlight, the color will fade. You have to keep amethyst in the shade. Do not put amethyst in direct sunlight. And it goes. I have tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is used for promoting Tiger's eye is used for promoting clarity and helping the witch stay focused on their goal to see them through completion. It could be that the witch is navigating the challenges of everyday life or pursuing long-term success. Tiger eye, especially this crystal, okay, is a steadfast companion that must be in your traveling altar. So this is tiger's eye, and it goes. I make sure to have my candle holders. These are really for chime candles. I have 2 of them, and I bring them along with me, or you have to bring something fireproof, like a porcelain plate that the candle can sit upon. It has to be fireproof. It can't be one of those plastic plates. The candle will burn through it. So I choose to use candle holders that are made out of porcelain, and therefore they are fireproof. So I put this in my traveling altar. I have some of my favorite herbs. My first is chamomile. Let me show you a close up of what it looks like. So this is chamomile. Chamomile is used for harmony, prosperity, and purification, and it smells amazing. So inside it goes. I have jasmine. Let me show you what that looks like up close. This is jasmine. Jasmine is helped to interpret dreams, gets rid of insomnia. Jasmine also attracts money when it's burned as an incense. So this is jasmine. So I put that in my traveling altar. This final one is star anise. Let me show you what it looks like. This is star anise. Star anise is in witchcraft is used primarily for protection. The pungent aroma of star anise gets rid of negative energies and evil spirits. So if you have a ghost in your house, if you have a demon in your house, if you have a disgruntled ancestor that won't stop haunting you in your house, use star anise. Star anise can be used as a talisman. It can be placed in drawers, on windowsills, or added to protected bags. This is star anise. Star anise has a very pungent aroma. It smells really good. So I'll add that to my traveling altar. And that is what I usually have in my traveling altar when I am a witch on the go, a witch on the road, a witch that can't have a big altar right away. This is perfect for witches who don't have a big altar. This is great for witches who may still be in the broom closet. It's convenient, especially if you have a lock on it so people can't open it and see what you got. So it's a big, useful item to have on hand. Like I said, you can buy something like this at Target. I brought this box at Target. You can use a small briefcase just as long as you can lock it, which I'm going to do right now. It's locked, and if I'm traveling, if you're traveling, grab it and go. Alright, witches, so that is how I put together my traveling altar when I am on the go. So if you are a witch that travels a lot, or want a smaller altar, or you are a witch that is not yet out of the broom closet, this broadcast is for you. So be sure to share this broadcast right now on your stories, on your other social media platforms, and tell them that there is a high priestess here in New York. Once again, my name is High Priestess Awesome Phoenix, who is anointed and appointed by the Queen of Witches Hecate to be a voice for witches who have ears to hear and hands to receive Hecate's best. This traveling altar is so convenient. If you are the type of witch that is always out and about, and you may have to do a spell, ritual, hex, or curse on the go, it's easy to pull out. All you need is a small case or briefcase with a key for privacy reasons, and you have everything you need in your traveling altar to do witchcraft. So once again, thank you, witches, for joining me for this quick live broadcast on this full moon night. By the way, tonight is a full moon. Also, it is summer solstice, is Letha. Today is the longest day of the year, the shortest night of the year, is when the sun is at the highest power. So since it is summer solstice, this is the perfect time to do all spells related to love, fertility, and growth. And why not do growth by growing your craft, by having a alternative altar with you that is so easy to travel with. It's easy to travel with this altar. So once again, witches, thank you for joining me, and I now release you into the rest of your afternoon. Bye, everyone.